Welcome. So, here's the preseason rankings. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I have a good amount of information about a lot of stuff, and I think I'm gonna try to keep it just off of what I know is published for sure, rather than like I'm essentially I'm not gonna be going through unannounced rumors or leaks or anything, just what we know right now, right? So let's just start with APAC because that's a lot easier. I think having Shanghai not in top one is really dishonest. I think that's a fair point to make. Like, let's take a look at the roster real quick. Got Fleta and Lip, a really incredible duo, with Who Are You as a backup, just in case if there needed to be like a set like a Genji or whatnot. Genji, Pharah, even though I think Fleta is the mainstay. If any two of these, or if Fleta is not in, then I think that's weird. Unless it's like, I don't even know. But this is a really good DPS line. For their tanks, Fate and Void, established tanks in the league. My only concern with this is that Fate is a really good ball, very mediocre everything else. His Ryan is not very good. It's not that. It's not very good. It's just not great. It's his Winston is all right. I'm not a big believer in Fate personally. I think, however, Void is gonna have a much easier time. His off tanks are a lot better. I think he'll have a better time learning the main tanks. I hope. Kind of just this general rotation I don't understand, but and I haven't heard any of the scrim bucks from Shanghai, so it's a little bit up in the air, especially since we're going into a completely different game. I hope they're good. I hope these guys find success. Their support line, I don't have to talk about much. I think it's a great support line. One of the best, if not the best in the league right now. Lee Jae-gon, Izayaki, two of the best supports in the league, with Bebe as a backup. It doesn't get much better, honestly. So, there's my shilling of Shanghai again. I want to put Chengdu up next. There have been leaks with Chengdu about their roster exploding. So you can see it now. Jinmu leave Aprita. I think this is really good. I like this a lot. You have your two hit scan players. You have Jinmu, and Leave can play anything you want him to. I think this is perfectly acceptable, like a perfectly good triple DPS line. Essentially the only thing is I don't want Leave to ever leave the starting roster, right? I don't think I ever want to see Aprita Jinmu unless Leave is looking like shit when Aprita is looking god tier, but I doubt that's gonna happen. Gaga as a solo tank, I like it. It's a little bit questionable just because I don't know his hero pool all that well besides main tanks, because I haven't encountered him in ranked at all. So I don't know. Also, I don't watch his I don't know if he streams or like what he's doing, but my information on what else Gaga can play is not very high. So I'm keeping this up to I think they know what they're doing. I'm putting faith in Gaga. I'm not really a big fan of this support line, I'm gonna be honest. Or I'm a fan of Yivito and Monk, right? I think Faraway and Nisha are just like, I don't know. I mean, it's good to have Faraway in case for the double flex support meta, and I guess Anisha is their rig player, but like, I'm just not a big fan of like what do these two guys even accomplish. Because I always foresee Yveltal Monk playing. I think Farbe you can make an excuse for keeping just because a second flex support is always a good idea. But I'm not a big fan of Nisha. Overall, I do think they are a really good team. I think they're going to have a lot of success. Next up, actually, yeah, I want to put Philly Fusion here. Philly, kind of the big debate right now going on in APAC is, or one of the big debates is Fusion or Soul. I think they're both really close to each other, but I would like to say Fusion is better. I'm gonna use Soul to compare as well, just to, I'm gonna. Yeah. So, just to compare. So let's just start off with the DPS line. Carpe, Amin3, Zest, and Vitz, Prophet, Stalker. You think about it, Vitz and Prophet are some of the best, like one of the best DPS duos in the league. They've kind of been stuck in soul jail for a while. They haven't been able to get much success, but we do see how good they are. We get to see their like not their potential, but their actual skill, that they're just incredibly good. With Stalker as well, being a newcomer, dominated kind of on Jinji, one of the few bright spots, I think, of Jinji. Yeah. Like, Jinji never really did that well in contenders, but the times that they looked bright, Stalker kind of shit on everyone, right? I think I think Stalker is a good backup flex DPS for Prophet. So I'm keeping my I'm keeping my stocks high for this DPS line. For Fusion, Carpe, M3 Zest, kind of a flip. You have two new rookies with your one veteran player, right? Now, M3 and Zest, I think, are overshadowed a lot just because of Proper coming into the league, like all these huge names coming in, like Proper being the biggest one, especially for DPS. But MN3 is ridiculous. Same with Zest. These two players are crazy. I suggest watch VODs. Watch old O2 Blast, or not O2 Blast, Talon, T1, yeah. Watch old T1 VODs, and you'll start to get an appreciation for how good these two players are. I think the way they rotate around their hero pool, because their hero pool overlaps in some areas, especially when it comes to the Tracer. Both of these players have played Tracer in like the same map and get ridiculous success. So I think their dynamic, their synergy is gonna help really well with this team. And Carpe just being there as their backup, just their leadership figure. If like someone's not doing very well, he'll come in. Carpe is also just a really skilled player in general, so I wouldn't be surprised if like we would see a lot of Carpe as well. That's kind of the main thing I want to talk about for these two teams. The rest are all semantics, I guess. They're both, I would say they're both very equal in this term. Smurf versus Fury, two elite tank players going into each other. Two championship winning elite players. Fixa and Aim God versus Creative and Vindime. Actually, does Vindime... Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of Vigilante. Again, of course, it'd be so good to have Alarm, but unfortunate things happen, right? But Fixa and Aim God are really good, especially Aim God. Aim God's been proving himself a lot in contenders. Fixa been playing in A for a while, looking really promising. Creative, a mainstay. We know this name. He's really consistent, really good. Not much of a playmaker, but he's really good and consistent. Vindime, a very solid main support in contenders. I'm pretty sure he was on T1. Oh no, he was O2. You're right. Okay. Yeah. So I like this roster a lot. I like this as well. But I think Fusion beats it out just based on the DPS line, right? After that, I want to put Hangzhou. Let's take a look at the roster. My problem with Hangzhou is that they are really good at mismanaging their huge rosters because they've always had big rosters, right? What is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's crazy. When realistically, they should play Shy, they should play Alpha Yi, and they should keep Architect as their backup, right? Pineapple, as much as I think Pineapple's a good player, I don't think they need him, really. Like, I don't know why Ligue and Bernard is still on the team. I mean, I guess Ligue if he's actually gonna play, but Bernard, I don't really know what he does here. Gushui is proficient on all tank heroes, especially like the Winston. We've known him as like the Winston guy. His primal blading and whatever, but I think they just have one too many pieces in each spot to where they can mismanage it really easily and have it look nasty and fuck up, right? Super Rich and Irony, I think this is really good. I would like another flex support. Like, look at this. Look at Super Rich on Team CC, just owning constantly. Irony, I'm pretty sure, is also on this roster. Oh no, Irony was BLG. BLG also being a really incredibly good player in the Chinese contender scene. But I think this is a really good team if they manage it right, but I'm a little worried if they're not gonna manage it right. And actually, now that I can talk about the Valiant having Sashin, I like this Valiant roster. I am really high on it. One of the things I was thinking about is, should I put Valiant over Hangzhou? I don't know yet, but maybe. I don't know how I feel about their DPS line. I think it's a little. I think it's good, but again, I think there's too many pieces. Dia having his redemption arc, sort of like Fearless, from Season 1 Shanghai not looking very good to now looking very dominant. Innovation as well, his duo looking really good also. Duos, where am I? Easyhan and Becky have been players that are kind of diamonds in the rough, essentially. Becky being a really good flex support, or flex DPS player, sorry. And Easyhan being a hit scan player for... he jumped around a lot. Most recently with Team CC. So... And I know that Easyhan has actually been doing well in... trials. As... Before Merit came along, Houston was actually looking at Easyhan to be their hit scan player. Or one of their hit scan players, I guess. But... I think Easyhan is kind of like, they're not going full budget this year, which I do like that. Sashin, we haven't seen him in a while, but I've always been really high on him. He's a good guy. I think he wasn't very good after Season 2. I think a lot of that has to do just with... I'm willing to blame that on COVID a little bit, because I think a lot of players, especially tank players, felt like shit during COVID, because, like, you were stuck inside, ranked sucked, and you were playing double shield. And, like, double shield, it's 3-2-1 rock, Geoff pull, bap, lamp, kill brig. That's all. That's like literally all it is. It's a soulless comp to play. I'm excited with this guy. He's proven himself in the past, and I really hope that he proves himself again. Their support line, there's not much really to say, except that I'm really high on them. Kodis didn't get to play much in Hangzhou over MCD, but he is a really good player. And the times we did see him, he shit on everyone. Crazy Zen. Then we have Linksa from Team Chaser. Really good. Kind of underrated in the scene, I guess. He played in 2020 on Chengdu, but really never played all that much over Evital and who else did they have? And, I'm blanking here. I'm blanking here. They had. Oh, was Molly a starter? I don't think I remember that. Yeah, I remember Kyo was always subbed in, but I thought they had someone else. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Okay. Nonetheless, he's a really skilled player, and I think he's gonna do really well in this season. I'm excited to see him play. Also, the really good thing about Linksa is he has a very deep hero pool. You can see it just from his signature heroes that he plays kind of everything, which I think is what more and more support players are gonna start to do anyway. They're gonna start to pick up the whole roster. But I think being a Lucio player, a skilled Lucio player, but also being able to play those like very important flex support roles is going to be incredibly important for Overwatch 2, especially since from everything being said right now, Lucio is dominating in scrims right now. Like the Lucio Moira comps is looking crazy good. So I'm actually really high on this team. I know I put them like all the way down here, but I do foresee them like especially in the right metas. I could see them going up around this level, and I don't foresee them beating Chengdu or Shanghai, but I think they could make it close. They could make it a series. You know what I mean? Finally for Charge, like it's one of those things where the bad teams this year are the bad teams just look so uninspiring. Like I'm kind of just here like. These are all good players, right? They're all good players, but they're just boring, kind of. I see Krong playing almost entirely over Rio the entire season. Unique finally gets a chance, which I like. Unique is pretty talented, been playing since the beginning of time. I might have just been a bad. You might have just been a really bad scrim or tryout guy. You never know. But you can see he's no slouch. He is pretty much just a main support, but he could. I think saying like exclusively main support, I think a lot of main support players now can play the flex, especially when it comes to BAP, because the BAP and Brig can kind of go back and forth on who plays what. And I think a lot of that was on the back of Alarm, who was one of the only flex supports who started playing Brig in Double Shield, and that ended up getting them a lot of success. So I'm excited to see how this support season's gonna work. But in terms of the Guangzhou Charge, I mean, like Eileen Choi Wan develop. Choi Wan is out right now because of illness. So Eileen and develop, I mean, that's okay. Their star player's gone, I think. I think Choi Se-won and Krong were their two strongest players in this team. But I guess they're fine, but I don't want fine for an Overwatch team, especially in a region as competitive as APAC, right? They have Sungwoo, Extra, and Youngjin. I do like this, but again, I don't think it's all that like, oh, whoa, incredible, crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm a little down on this team. I really hope that I'm proven wrong and that they're actually really competitive this season. I hope all teams are like really competitive because that's so fun to watch. I don't want another season that's like Goats or Double Shield where it's like if you're Fusion or you're Shock, you will win like 3-0, or in Goats where it's like if you are Titans, if you are Shock, if you are NYXL, you are going to win all the time and it's not even going to be close. But We went to NA because it's fun. Who doesn't like NA? I want to move some teams just in general areas that I think that I can sort of assess, right? So I want to move Dallas. I think Atlanta as well. But Glad's up here. Put Shock up here. And then I'm probably going to put like Houston. And then I'll start from the bottom actually. So Paris, and then I'll just do like these guys down here. Toronto is probably in the middle of the table. Okay, yeah, I can work with this. Okay. So for this top row here, I can actually put in tier breaks because that might make it easier. Yeah. Just for consistency's sake, I won't. I'm not gonna do that. Let's tackle the top first. That's easiest. I want to put Glads at number 1. I think Glads are looking disgusting this season. Glads and Dallas both. I think they're in the Seoul and Philly situation where they're both very, very good, but also really equal in skill. I think there are some parts of Dallas I like better, some parts of Glads that I like better, but I do think Glads edges it out a little bit. I like this roster here. This for Dallas's DPS. Like, I don't like 4-man DPS lines because that kind of like the kind of thing that goes in my head is that you have a B team of DPS players, and I think that's if you rotate out that much to where they all get a good amount of playtime, I think that can become difficult to manage and maintain. But let's just break this down, right? So you have 2 flex DPS, 2 hit scan DPS. I foresee Sparkle playing almost all the time. If not, I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to play. Because all these guys are really good. Especially Gudio, which has not been looked at enough. Like you can see right over here. He's just like, oh, he got first place against a team that has no liquid PDVH. So what? Oh, the all from Academy. What is this? Okay. You see what I mean? It's just his only successes come from nothing wins. Hey, Alien, how's it going? The thing I like about this, I watched him play. He's inspirational, right? He's really inspirational, but I don't know if he's like crazy inspirational, if you catch my drift, right? Compared to like Edison, Sparkle, Doha, some of the best players in the league, I don't know. I'm not so sure. Right? Let's compare this to Glads, where you have Ants, Kevster, Patafan. Patafan is a question mark right now because he can kind of play everything. Very, very flexible player, kind of in the same vein as Kevster. Very skilled DPS player, which I think is going to be really hopeful going into Overwatch 2. Hopefully he's really good, but he also hasn't played in like 2 years. So, who knows? But Patafan is not playing very well. Then you play Ants Kevster all the time. Ants, we know how good Ants is. Ants shocked everyone in 2020 with how good he is. What do you think of London Spitfire? They are my home team. I'll do London Spitfire after Glads in Dallas, yeah. Because I have a good amount to say about them. I just think that the Glads DPS line is more consistent. Or not more consistent, but more easier to maintain and manage than Dallas. But then again, with the Dallas coaches, you have 3 incredible players, or 2 incredible coaches and an incredible player who is likely going to understand and just feel out how this game is going to work in Overwatch 2. Because I'm pretty sure it was Custa who said it, where the players who go in the coaches who were players previously are gonna look really good going into this next season, into this new game, because they have played the game, understood how to get better at it, and learn. So I think that that's gonna ring true with Rascal. That he's been a former player, one of the best players in the league previously. I think this is gonna be a really good lineup and a good coaching staff. Over here we have Face under Smash. Face is actually really good. I think he doesn't get talked about as much because when you think of LA Glads, you think of DP, but Face is really talented in terms of his analysis and scouting. He was one of the big reasons why they ended up winning the Summer Showdown or Countdown Cup. Yeah, it was the Countdown Cup. Because that was when DP kind of gave him more control of the team. They didn't do all that great in playoffs, but I think that after that win of the Countdown Cup, they understood their win conditions. They understood what they need to do to win a championship in the future. Smash, I don't know all that much about Smash. I just know that he is a good player. He comes from O2 Blast. Or not good player, a good coach. Comes from O2 Blast. And the fact that he comes from O2 Blast, I think, gives you instant rep for being a good addition to a team. So that's kind of what I think. Yeah, I plan on uploading this VOD to YouTube, I think. This is kind of my plan. Let's go back to the main roster, right? They're Tank Lion, Fearless, and Hanbin. I like this a lot. I know that Hanbin is a very flexible player. He can kind of play anything you want. He can play main tanks. We've seen him do it before. My only question is if Fearless is getting more comfortable with his other tanks. You have like Ball, Orisa is completely different now. If he's good at Doomfist, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sold on this tank line yet, which is kind of ridiculous to think about because Fearless and Hanbin in Overwatch 1 were a crazy good duo. So I'm not entirely sold, but I do trust that they're going to be one of the better tank duos in the league. Right? Let's go over here. Reiner in Space. I think this is the best tank line in the league right now. Reiner grinding his ass off in contenders, right? Doomfist is the most yeah. Doomfist and Orisa are owning right now, which is why I'm a little concerned about how Fearless is gonna handle that. I honestly think that if it's a Doom Orisa meta, I guess, then Hanman's gonna play more because from what I've experienced and seen, Orisa plays a lot like an off tank, and I think would align better with that general vibe that Hanman has. More mechanical skill in terms of just like point and click, I guess. For all glad, like I said, yeah, Reiner in Space. I think the fact that Reiner was previously an Overwatch League level DPS player, hit scan and flex, that he can replicate anything he wants to in this season. He can. I think the fact that Doom is becoming a tank is really beneficial to him. He can play anything. I've especially seeing him in ranked, he'll just hop on D.Va, he'll troll, he'll like run into the back line, he'll just start killing everything. He's so good. And it's the same with Space. Space, you have that veteran figure who calms. He's loud. He's incredibly assertive and a very, very smart player when it comes to the way he conducts himself, where he talks, and how he communicates. Yeah. Apparently D.Va sucks though. Yeah, I've actually been hearing that recently as well, and that's kind of weird. I did not expect that, based off of possibly bad opinions. I've heard that D.Va doesn't suck, but is like middle of the table, right? Hog and Ball are really shit right now, but like D.Va, Ryan, Winston are all kind of like in the same kind of mid table. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, this is also from what I've heard from less from the tier list that I've seen, but more of just the scrims that I've heard about, right? But then again, this Scrimbucks exchange is not something to yell about as fact, because remember what happened last time, 2020 playoffs, when Houston was like the Scrim God team. They were channeling their inner Zephyr, and then they were the first ones to get knocked out. So I don't know. But overall, I know it's one of those things as well. My Korean is very mid. I don't watch Hanbin on the daily, right? I don't watch Fearless on the daily. I don't know if these guys are calm gods, but I know that Space and Reiner are calm gods. The Space shit is like almost a meme. Like you'll see Space in 3900 calming like it's 4600, right? Like this dude is no joke. Yeah, the Scrimbucks this season are fucking crazy. If I made this tier list entirely off of what the Scrimbucks are saying right now, it would be a little bit interesting. Yeah, Shu and Skewed I think is really good. I think that's, and sorry, and Astro. I think the fact that Astro is in this roster and can play everything, like yeah, he plays Baptiste, Lucio. He's obviously the Lucio player, but his BAP is really good, and I assume his other flex supports are really good as well. But I don't see him playing other flex supports over both Shu and Skewed. I think that's a little weird. But it's really good to have that established main support who can flex if he needs to, right? Especially with Lucio, as I was saying, being one of the best characters in the game right now. Astro, I think, is going to farm. Are Lucio Mori's meta? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Lucio Mori's likely meta just because there's a lot of flankers, right? And you have players like Proper running around on Tracer. So if you're Zen, I think you just explode. I've heard Zen players are having a rough time. Like Zen Ana, they just can't do anything. And so you're seeing a lot of Moira, a lot of Lucio mainly, right? I've heard people were playing BAP a little bit, but I think BAP is kind of on the low because of the new healing changes. So, you know, again, this is all we could be getting conned. It's happened before. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Fielder and Chio. I've been following Chio for a long time. I have never really seen him play like Zen or BAP or any of that. Like he's kind of just exclusively a main support from what I've seen, and I think that's a little bit risky going in. But you know, I don't even know. I think it's really good. Chio's really one of the better flex supports in the league, and I hold a lot of hype for this team. Same with Glads. Like I don't even have to talk about Shu and Skewed. Skewed obviously didn't play a lot of like Zen, BAP, all that last year because he was on Brig Jail. But the times we have seen him play the other flex supports, he's owned. And Shu, I don't even need to talk about Shu. Shu is just fucking crazy. So that's my reasoning for putting Glass at the top. Right? Okay. Let's move on to London, because why not? London, I think I might want to put... So there are 3 teams that I think are almost definitely bottom 3. Vancouver, London, and Paris. It's sad, but it's true. I think London is not the worst. Okay? And I think Vancouver... I think London is like right in the middle. Like right probably here. Is what I think. So let's go over the roster real quick. Christopher, Commander X, Spilo. Commander X, I think he's like 40. He's like 50 now. I'm thinking of someone else. Wait, what the? Oh. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Where am I? Okay. It's fine. It's an okay coaching staff. They picked up Christopher, Chipsa's brother. We love him. He's wonderful. I mean, man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, he's good. Yes. Like, he's a good coach. Has some success. Spilo, I don't remember much Spilo. Yeah, he's an EU Contenders Warrior. Like, again, mid-ass coaching staff. Sparker, Shax, and Backbone, I actually really like this a lot. I think this is a really good set of players, set of DPS players. Yeah, Sparker being, before Sparker, I mean, if everyone remembers, before Sparker was of age, they played Hybrid. Hybrid sucked. He was not good. Sparker came in, it was serious improvement. Sparker owned. He was looking really good, and I think that he continued to look good. I don't think that he dipped off. I think his teams started sucking harder as the other teams got better. But I don't think Sparker started shitting his pants. Shax, I think in a similar boat. The problem with that is that, like, I mean, they were kind of playing on stuff that he wasn't really that comfortable on. So, like, he's not very flexible, really. And that's my big worry about him. He can play Tracer really well. He can play the Reaper. He could kind of play Sombra. He's a solid player, but I don't know if he's going to be as valuable as, like, Backbone, right? I feel like if it's a hard Tracer meta, you play Shax. But if it's not, I think I always want to see Sparker and Backbone. His Backbone actually is really good. I'm very high on this kid. I've been high on him for a long time. And... oh, shit. Excuse me. He's flexible. He can play hit scan, but he's not like, it's not like inspirational, not like game changing or anything. But I think he's a solid and good flex DPS player. Their tank line is Poco and Hadi. It's good to have that. Shit. What am I looking for? Veteran status from Poco. But and then there's Hadi. I think Hadi was alright, but like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Like, man, it's just not very inspiring. I don't care about this very much. I think Poco is going to look really good, and it's going to be like a fried wiener situation where it's going to be, oh shit, this one off tank looks so fucking good. And then he just loses, right? Because he's on London Spitfire. I think the two to look out for, Poco, Sparker. Poco Backbone as well, that's really good. They did have Provide, but Provide is not a very good guy, so he was dropped. So now they just have Admiral, which I think Admiral's really good. I think he's a solid and good EU player. I don't think he's game-changing, but I think he's solid. He's good. He's deserved his spot in the league, I think. And I think if you put him on another team, he would do well. That's kind of my general consensus about him. I've never seen him play before in the league. So, he might be a flower situation. I'm not sure, though. I hope he's not, because I want to see this dude succeed. Obviously, they have no flex support yet, or no second support at all. So, it said that they've gotten Landon, which would be pretty cool, because I like Landon a lot. He's a good player. I like this dude. But, I'm not very high on this team, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the top here. And I want to talk about Atlanta. I think Atlanta can be one of the best teams in the league. Let's take a look at their roster. Speedily turns 18 in late August, like August 30th, right? August 26th. Okay. He's not going to play for a long time. It sucks. I don't like it. But in the meantime, Venom, Nero, and Kai. Kai being one of the best hit scans in the league. Like, without a doubt. He's so good. Okay. Kai's one of the best hit scan players in the league. He's really good. I think he's always going to have success on this team just by existing. Venom, or Sigma, as some of you may know, is a little interesting. He is he's kind of a silly, he's a new age silly hero specialist, as I would say, right? Because when you think of silly hero specialists, you think of like Hydration, who's like the Doom, the Pharah, so on, like Hanzo, so far, so forth. Venom is like, he can play the hit scan really well, but he can also flex the Hanzo, he can play Pharah kinda, he's a really good Tracer player. I like this guy a lot. So, I'm a big fan of this kid. I think he's really good, and I want to see how he performs in the league. I wanted to see this for a while. I didn't expect him to get picked up from when I saw him in NA Contenders, but I'm really happy that he did. And talk about Nero. On last year's Shock roster, he was one of the best players on that team. He was one of the only consistent ones. He dominated when he had to. He was just a solid player. I think he's really good. He's very flexible, can play whatever you want him to. And he's a veteran. He's been playing forever, right? So I'm excited to see this dude play. I'm excited to see this DPS line. I think they're gonna do really well. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it, but Speedily is looking like one of the best players in the league. He's been looking like that for a long time, but I mean, he's too young. Like, this is kind of the year where everyone's starting to turn of age. Like, next year we have Heesang and Sugarfree, but Sugarfree's retired, but it's the principle that matters, right? Which is crazy. Gatorhawk, I think this is interesting. Their flexibility is a little up in the air, but I do think that their communication and their calming ability is good enough. No? Like, I'm a little worried, but I do think that they have everything under control. That's at least my view of the atmosphere, if you know what I mean. So not much to say about them, except I'm a little concerned, but we know these guys, they have proven themselves as really good players. Gator cannot play ball very well. We know that. But besides that, these guys are fucking cracked. So I trust. OG and Ultraviolet. Again, these are similar to Speedily. Just they've been grinding this game for a long time. Been waiting for this shot. They're finally 18. They were insta-signed. Like, that doesn't surprise me. These guys are ridiculous. And the fact that they're a duo on the same team makes it even scarier. So, I'm high as fuck on this team. Their staff, Sephi, Legit RC, and Danny. I think this is good. Sephi's a really good coach. I trust him. I think this is going to be a good roster. I'm a fan. And San Francisco. Let's take a look at San Francisco. I want to talk about this team. Okay. Proper, Kilo, Sam. I like this a lot. This is really good. You have Proper and Kilo. You have your hit scan, and you have your flex and your hit scan, and you roll it, right? And then you have your backup flex DPS, who's really fucking good as well. One of those players who's been grinding for a while, been on AT, been on winning rosters, just a very strong mental, strong mechanically player. Big fan of this signing, right? Big fan of this DPS line. Kalush being the only tank. I know he can play everything. My only concern is to what level. A little up in the air, a little concerned about that. So, whatever. I'm holding strong. I do believe this is gonna be a really good team. Violet and Fen, I like this a lot as well. I mean, like, it's one of the things where for these top teams, it's just I like this a lot. I just like this. This is good. because there's not much to explain. Like, they've proven themselves, they're good players. Finn, Kilo proper, they come from O2 Blast. Like, there's not much to say besides these kids are crazy cracked. The only concern, like the only real concern I have is their tank situation and also who plays the main support, because going into this Lucio meta that we're talking about is a little interesting. Does that super dipped? I am too, but also I think if he stayed, he would play like shit, right? I don't think he would do very well just because his mental was boomed and he needed to get out. And if he didn't, he would get really mad and they'd probably just lose, right? I think it was the right time for him to go. Which is sad, but I mean, it just, that kind of happens, you know what I mean? Oh, let's mention, 9K came back to San Francisco, which is really good. Like, this is one of those things, it looks crazy. They did get rid of a handful of code. They got rid of by Zenith, and I think that was it. But I love Zenith. He's my boy. He's my goat. My homie. But you know, happens, right? I don't look at that roster yet. So I would see this around the same spot. I'm gonna keep Atlanta above San Francisco because I think their holes are less. They have less holes. Alright. Now it goes to these guys, which are a little interesting. Now, the Scrimbucks exchange, from what I've heard, is that Florida was going through some stuff, and now they're owning. They are shitting on everyone. And that doesn't surprise me. Because people were down on this team, and now that they found their stride and scrims, I think these are going to be one of the better teams. I could even see breaking up into here, right? Like I can actually see, like, actually if I were to make another one, I'm gonna do this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. That's kind of what I want to do. So Florida, really good. Hydron, Checkmate, Xe. Like, what else can I say about this roster? This squad of DPS players. Hydron, again, one of those players, proved himself up from contenders. Checkmate had a rough season last year because he had to play main tank. And he was also, like, I could excuse everyone who was on last year's Florida because that was just a shit show. I think OG overstayed his welcome in the league. And that kind of just, that aspect boomed the entire team. So, I can forgive. I think Checkmate is a good player from what we've seen of him. Xe, proven himself before. Not much to say about him. I think he's really good. He's taking a break. He's coming back fresh-minded, new mental. I'm excited. So, I've heard some stuff about someone in Adam. That someone is almost exclusively playing. It's just someone. And this guy is fucking. Which makes me really, really happy. Because I love this kid so much. He is such a good dude. Yeah, oh, actually, today's his birthday. Which is really awesome. He just turned 18 today. Yeah, woo! We love someone. He's my goat. You could see his track record is... It's good, but it's not great. If you've seen this guy play, you know that this guy is great. He can play all main tanks, and from what I've heard, he can play all off tanks as well, including Doomfist. So this guy is crazy. I'm looking at him, like, for right now, Rookie of the Year, him, or someone proper, Reiner, are like, and speedily as well, I think, as like my big four of who can get Rookie of the Year, who's good enough for that. Where am I? I think Adam is also really good. Like, I don't want to discredit Adam. I love Adam, but I've just heard that someone has been fucking and he's really good, and that doesn't surprise me based on his track record. through contenders as well. Just for their support line, Animo, Sermajed, Kariv. Sermajed's stuck in visa hell right now, so I'm gonna just go off of. I'm gonna just hope that Sermajed is coming back before the league starts, or getting his visa before the league starts. So, Animo, I'm really high on Animo. I like this dude a lot. I've always been a fan of him. He kind of got stuck on shitty teams. He wasn't very good. By shitty, I'm fucking saying he's on New York. He was really good on New York. He was stuck in Soul Jail for a while, where it was just kind of showing that like gesture Marvel, gesture to you. That duo was just not doing well, and they couldn't get much value. And because of that, like Animo wasn't playing well. No one played well on that team. They kind of were mid as fuck last season. But I'm excited to see him back. He's playing. He's owning, apparently. And, you know, I mean, if you don't know Animo, he came in at the end of Season 1. Or near the end of Season 1 of NYXL to sub in for Arc, and he became a ridiculously good player. So, happens. Right? He's just good. Sermajed. A lot of these players, these top players, he's been proving himself for a while. He's finally getting a chance in the league, which is true. Like, the second he turned 18, he got signed. That's not surprising. I'm a little worried about Kariv, because we know that Kariv, he used to be really good. Now he's like, we don't really know what's going on with him, so let's just hope that he's going to be good. I have pretty much no bad things to say about this roster. I think the only thing the only real thing that puts them in this section here is that I don't think their players are as mechanically and mentally gifted, or skilled, I should say, not gifted, as some of these upper teams here. So I would be perfectly fine moving Florida up in this area as well. But I'm going to just keep them down here until I get to Houston. And speaking of Houston, Dante, Pelican, Merritt. I like this a lot. It's just, I like this a lot. I do. I fucking love this. I love this lineup. I've been high on Merritt for a long time. When he was playing on Runaway, then he moved to O2 Blast. He has that O2 Blast mentality. He's just a really incredible hit scan player. Pelican, we've seen Pelican Rookie of the Year 2021, and Dante, who's been one of the best players, one of the most consistently best players in the league for ever. He's always been incredibly good. Just he kind of gets stuck on shit teams sometimes. All the time. My big question is what's going on with Piggy? I don't know if I like Piggy being the only tank player, because I know he can play Sigma, I know he can play the Diva, the Ball, he can play all this. I don't know about all the main tanks. I'd like to imagine he can be really good because he's a fresh player. He's new enough. He understands the game really well. He's a smart guy, and he's loud and communicative. Right. So I have hope, but I'm a little about it. You know what I mean? For their support line, Lastro and Iris, I think this is really good. I worry about who's gonna play the Lucio, who's gonna play the Mercy, the Brig kind of stuff. Like, the Mercy Brig is whatever. Anyone can play Mercy and Brig. But Lucio is really hard to actually play. Like, if you want to be a really good team in a Lucio meta, you have to be a really good Lucio. Especially when you're competing with people like Funny Astro, like Animo, hopefully Sanguinar. Like, I don't fucking know. OG as well. It's just, the competition is so high, I don't know if they can afford to not have someone who can be really good at Lucio. So, I don't know. I can see this team doing really well, but I can also see him doing really bad. Not really bad, but just not great in terms of how good their roster is. Yeah, drink of water. Holy shit. Okay. So, and they still have Junkbuck, Pochili, Jake. I like this a lot. Good. Big dubs. I like it. And yeah, Mr. Staff, Junkbuck, McGravy, day one. I like it. I think these are really good coaching staffs. I kind of want to keep them in their own separate tier right here, right under the top. But I think it would be kind of fair if I just like do that, right? Or maybe. Okay. So these trifecta here, I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know. I think they're all mid. They're all just mid. Like, Washington should be so good on paper. But apparently they're not doing well. Again, they picked up Vigilante, Krillin, and Opener. Vigilante looking awesome, and Kalios as well. And Happy. They picked up a lot of players. Vigilante turning 18 in July. Yeah, July 1st. Krillin, good player. He's looking really good in contenders off of Talon. He won. Opener, diamond in the rough kind of player. Playing in tier 3. Yeah, he's a tier 3 player getting second place. Dude. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Kalios, really good. Mag, really good. Assassin, Happy Decay, all really good players individually. But they're just... It's hard to say. I feel like Boston as well. I don't know why they have this many players, but I don't care about it all that much. Like, why do you have 3 tank players? Who plays what? Is Marvel gonna play everything? Because I would expect Marvel to never leave the roster, because he can play both main and off tanks. At Overwatch League level, at least. It's all... What, for backup main tank? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about this shit, man. I don't know about this. MCD, Crimzo, like... I don't want to go into every one of these players because I know that they're good, they're solid, and whatever. Like, Striker is a big one. We know Striker from being a crazy carry on San Francisco Shock in 2020, and in the beginning of 2021 as well. But, like, yeah, these players are all good, right? Like, Kremzo, really good player. MCD, good player. Faith, Funk, benching Gabushi. Like, that's crazy. Striker... I already mentioned him. But the rest are just like, do I care? Not really. They have Lori and Oscroft. Again, I don't care. These guys are alright. And they're alright. Washington, no scrim bugs. The scrim bugs for Washington are shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Washington is not winning. They are getting stomped. Which sucks, because, like, I don't know, and I don't know how much you know about these players, but all of these players are, like, some of the most hyped up players in the league. In contenders. People, Decay, owning. You have Happy owning as well, right? I mean, we haven't seen Happy, Kalios, Vigilante, Crone, or Opener play for this team, right? Mag was literally looking... The bidding war for Mag... I'm sorry. The bidding war for Mag is unbelievable. Or at least last season it was. They... Like, look at this shit. I mean, his... Like... This is crazy. And they finished 7th, 8th. in the playoffs. Like, come on. They beat Team CC, which was like incredibly dominant. And he just didn't look very good. Same with Assassin. Assassin literally just like Assassin would play Sombra and he would EMP nothing. He would EMP and die or EMP nothing. It was like he just wasn't impressive at all, and it was really upsetting because he was hyped up to be so good. I'll move this up here. I don't know. I'm just pissed. I'm so pissed that this team is not good. Oh. Let's look at Toronto. Okay. I'm high on this team. I like this team a lot. I think this is the best Toronto team we've ever seen. Which isn't saying very much. But I think this is going to be the gatekeeper. I could foresee Toronto going up here. Right? Out of all the teams that I put here, I think Toronto can go up here. Let's take a look at their roster. I want to actually go into this roster this time, though. Instead of glossing over it. Hisu Finale, although having visa issues, I'm gonna say that he's gonna be here by the time the season starts. I hope. Hisu, we know Hisu's a great player, playing for Philly in the past, being just a really great player. He was good. He is good. Kind of shit on everyone whenever he did play. Finale and Although have been proving themselves in contenders, especially since Although has that league experience, leaving to go play for O2 Blast, winning a bunch, and now is back in the league. I think he earned his spot from what I've seen of him. I'm excited to watch him play. Finale has been playing in EU, or not EU, NA, and they were really good. Like, Boston University was like the only team that actually challenged Redbirds. The Redbirds involving, like, you had like Reiner, Reiner, Iron, OG, UV, that whole squad of fellas, right? So I'm excited to see Finale come in and play. I think he's going to be a good addition to the team and actually fill the little holes that are made from here. Muse at Hoppa, I think this is really good. Hoppa, we know, is a very flexible tank player. He's played for Fusion, for NYXL, all been pretty successful on all the teams he's been on. And Muse coming in as well, off his rookie season, looking alright, winning a stage with the Gladiators, actually looking really good. I think Muse is one of those up-and-comers that can only go up from here. I think that he had a mid-season last year compared to what we thought of him as, but I think now that he's in the league again, he's experienced it, and now he's going into a whole new game. He can kind of reset his mental, and he can be really good. Now, I'm gonna come out of my inner Avril and talk about Chorong. This guy is nuts. It's not very impressive, but you just gotta trust. This guy is ridiculous. He's one of the best players. I think he's gonna be one of the best main supports in the league. I think he's gonna be one of the better players in the league as a whole. Which I know main supports don't get a lot of attention in the league, but this guy is. This guy is going to fuck. I hope. And the only person aside him is Twilight, who runaway Twilight, playing with the San Francisco Shock, playing with the Vancouver Titans, and then like going off that massive runaway streak against Kongdu Panthera, in particular, where like runaway was just the GOAT team, right? This guy is crazy. Plus, he can kind of play everything. He's really flexible. He's really good. I like this dude a lot. So I think Besides, they have Moby Dick, who I really like. They have KDG still, and they have Young One. I think it's really good. I think Toronto is a great team. Toronto, no, I'm moving it up. I gotta move this up because I really do think that Toronto's gonna be a good team. Okay, I want to talk about NYXL now because I have some words to say. So, with the information going around about Kellen leaving to Korea, I don't know. Something's up. Something's hinky. But I'm going to just take into aspect what we have right now. We don't know their sixth player, but we know that they do have one, which is never a good thing to hear. We're like, shit, what are we, like, almost a week, like almost like 2 weeks away from the season starting, and we don't know their sixth player. Okay, let's go anyway. Flora and Yaki. I think this is gonna be the bright spot of this team because they destroyed NYXL entirely. They got rid of all their coaches too. Thankfully, holy shit. They kept Flora, who was the star of this team last year. And they picked up Yaki, who is a star in general. Yaki, although this is not looking all that great, he is ridiculous. If you've watched him play, you know he is a ridiculous player. He ridiculous on the Tracer, on anything he wants to be. Like, but his Tracer and his Echo in particular are ridiculous. Also coming off from Florida, you have Gangnamjin and Kuki as well. Kuki, their coach. So Gangnamjin, I think, is gonna be really good for this team. I don't like Myungmong all that much. I do like how Myungmong is a lot more aggressive than Gangnamjin, which I think can be really good. But I don't know if I like the no main support. I think having that void is just not good. I think I have the same problem with Houston as well. I'm not a big fan of it, truly. But we don't know. They could have signed Sanguinar. So what? We don't fucking know. And Kellen, one of the prospects out of Korea, who looks really good. Really good main tank player, very solid. Can he play everything? I don't know. I hope so. Like, it's a lot of this team is just, can they? I hope they can. If they can't, then they're going to lose. Because if the Lucio meta is true, the Lucio meta seems to be true. And they seem to have no Lucio player because from what we've heard in scrims, New York is getting shit on. Which means they're probably playing like Bapzen. Because I know a lot of teams are loving to force Bapzen. Or they want to force Bapzen. And then they just die. They lose. They don't win the game. Right? So, it's just one of those things. I don't think this team is going to be that good. Unfortunately. Even though I love New York, I love LW Blue. I've been following LW Blue for a long time. But I don't care. What? It sounds really bad. Well, it makes sense though. It makes sense why people would think that because with no stuns or anything, you would think, okay, so have a backline that can defend itself. Bapzen, ridiculously high damage and a really good amount of healing. So like, let's say your Bap and your Lucio, or your Bap and your Zen, you stick together. Zen, Discord, charge a right click, do whatever, you stop flanks, right? Apparently that doesn't work. That's not been working very well. So people have been running Lucio because if you can run away, they can't get you. And you still have healing. So I think it's just that, not that it's bad, it's just that the Lucio is way better. Because it works. And the Bapzen doesn't work as well as you would think it would. So for my final little area here, I kind of want to do like this, I think. Okay, the final two. Oh boy. Vancouver. Here's what it is right now. Vancouver, London, Paris. Vancouver looks decent. It looks decent. Aspire, Shockwave, Psycho, they're all very good players. Aspire and Shockwave especially, they've proven themselves previously on other teams in the league. Aspire actually being signed on a like 15-day contract with Toronto and doing very well against the very powerful against a very powerful and raw Shock team. Psycho looking really good, especially from Talon Esports. Psycho is looking crazy. Sorry, not Talon, Falcons Esports. This guy's looking pretty good. I'm excited to see them. I'm excited to see him play. He's pretty good. He's pretty flexible. He can play whatever. I have a lot of hope for this guy. False being their only off tank or the only tank, I don't like that too much. I think False is a great player, great off tank. I don't know how I feel about this though. I would really like to see them pick up like a secondary main tank, right? I think that would be a really good idea. But like, there's not much to say. I think he's skilled, but I'm a little worried about his flexibility. Aztec, Masa, and Skyrippa, I think is pretty alright. It's fine. I don't think it's that good though. Like Aztec is good, Masa is good, Skyrippa I've never really been high on, unfortunately, which I kind of feel bad saying, but like he's been a grinder, right? He's grinded for a long time, but I really don't think he's all that. Like he's all that. I think he's okay. He's fine. Whatever. Like he's flexible. I do like that, but I think that's kind of where his skill is at its peak. Is his flexibility. Aztec did not get to play all that much last season. Cause shit, who was on? It was on Toronto as well. It was Ansun J and it was Ansun J and Lastro. Which Lastro is just better. Does not surprise me that Aztec didn't play. So Masa, I think Masa's good as their veteran, since they're their captain, their leader. I think he's really good in that role. But I'm just not very inspired by this. Their staff is actually alright. They have Pew and they have Flubby, which I personally like. I know a lot of people are not a big fan of, but I do like their coaching style. I think their results are not very great, but their old coaches, their old results are pretty, but not anymore. But I do like them. I think they're solid. Now for Paris. Oh, good lord. This team makes me mauled so hard. I'm telling you. So, let me propose an idea. Okay. You're going into so you finish your season in Overwatch 1. Where did they finish? Where did they finish? They finished fifth. Oh, nope, sorry. They finished 12th in the regular season out of 20. Or let's see. Let's take a look at this. Was there a okay. They finished 12th. They went 8-8 with a 0 map differential, 32-32. Paris was 8th, above only 4 teams. 4 not very good teams. They were under Toronto and Washington, who were 2 not very good teams. Right? So I remember they got a lot of freelo wins. So, I mean, it's kind of just like whatever. You know what I mean? They did fine. They did alright. They weren't good, but they weren't piss poor. So you're like, okay, we're going into a new game. Every team is upgrading like crazy. What should we do? And someone says, you need to side grade and get rid of Get Amazed. That's all they did. Get Amazed leaves the team for God knows why, because he's an incredible coach. They get rid of Onigod and they get Glister, which, as much as people hate it, that's a side grade. Maybe a slight upgrade, but it's a side grade. Because Onigod is a really good player. He just hasn't been on the greatest teams. And the only time he was on he's on Dallas, but he replaced Decay, so he immediately looked not as good because it's Decay. Onigod is a great player, and Glister is a great player, but I think they're about the same skill level. So they side grade, get rid of one of the best coaches, and that's it. That is it. I fucking hate this so much, man. Like, and the thing is that, like, Dan is flexible. Dan can play a bunch of stuff. Can he play off tank? I hope so. Can he play Doom? I hope so. Vistola, I don't know about Vistola. Like, he's good, but what is he gonna do? He's like, I've heard him comp before. It's all right, but I don't even know how to feel with this team. Like, it just makes me upset. It's like they didn't try. I hope they signed more people. Because, Can is good. Very good player. But, like, Pedro is kind of mid. He doesn't, he's not known for his Lucio. So now, what's stopping Khan from just playing Brig and Mercy as well? He can do that. He's skilled enough. He's talented enough. Yeah, Pedro is the Brig player, but you don't need a Brig player going into this new game. You need a player who can play a lot of stuff, who can play important roles that are hard and rare to come by. Which is why I think Sanguinar would be such a really good pickup, because he's one of the, and Animo as well, they're one of the few good Korean Lucios. Because since Korea is not known for their incredible Lucio play, since they've been playing dive, they've been playing Winston on a dive for the past 9 years, right? So, I think having a Lucio player is going to be really important. So, I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing? Hello? Naga's good, Glister's good, but, they good enough? Who plays... Fuck, man. I don't know, I just mod this team because I don't know what they're going to do. But I know that they're not going to place high. So, and I haven't heard any scrim news from them, so I don't even know if I could base bucks on them. Anyway. This is my preseason power ranking. Screenshot. Do everything. Follow me. Tag me on Twitter when this is proven to be the worst tier list in America. In the world. I'm gonna be so wrong. No, deadass, it's probably gonna be some shit like Florida's gonna be up here. like Atlanta's gonna be like here, or some bullshit like that, right? Because you know it's gonna happen. Valiant beats Shanghai in one of them in like one series, so. Anyway, thank you for riding along with me. They should make a version of Mega Man with no scrim looks. That's true. That'd be kind of funny. So, thank you. I hope you enjoyed listening to me mauled. I'm probably gonna upload more stuff and more VODs to YouTube. So, expect them. Yeah.